Hey everybody, Deplorable Bobby here. Friday night at 8 o'clock. I'm always on time. Tonight, I've got some special guests. I want to bring them in. I don't want to leave them hanging in the backstage area too long. So I want everybody knows Dangerous Freedom, our dear friend from Arizona. And then, of course, we're going to come back to the East Coast and we're going to go down to South into Florida and we're going to bring in Florida Jim. So we've got a group here tonight, people. Let me tell you, this is quite a group.
I can't see the YouTube stream. I just see the chat.
Neither can I.
You can't see the stream?
I would need another phone.
Well, all you're going to be looking at is me anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
I can see y'all.
Hey, I just got a notification that you're live now.
Oh, good. Good.
Not bad.
It just came up.
I'm telling you, CLC in Florida and Linda Horner and Propis and Margot and Darla. This is going to be a show. I don't know exactly where it's going because I've got well, y'all know me, and then we've got a gun guy prepper kind of guy, and then we've got we've got Florida Jim. And Jim, go ahead. I know you've said it before, but let people know a little bit about your comedic background and in radio.
Well, back starting in about 89, I'm sorry, 88. I lived in Nashville, Tennessee, and there was a radio station out there, KDF, WKDF 103.3, Nashville's home of rock and roll. And I befriended the drive time DJ, and he invited me up there, and he let me do a few things on the air. I was unpaid. I was unscripted. I had no credits to my name for that one. Then I moved back to Illinois. I was on a station WKQX 101 Q101 out of Chicago. I was on there quite often, phone in with Robert Murphy, and it was Murphy in the mornings on KQ10X. And then I went and I started talking to a guy, another famous disc jockey in Chicago named Jonathan Brandmeier. And this is when I was driving a truck, and he would call up and get my opinion on stuff, and I would be overly animated and whatnot. It started, that little gig started from a actual phone call I made to him, and he liked what I did, and we just went from there. After that, there was a brief time where there was nothing major going on in my life. Then I got into what is it called now? Pirate radio. I'm sorry, pirate radio. You guys know I'm having a hard time thinking, right? You know why. And so I did pirate radio. I was on a station that was very popular. We would get fan mail from as far away as Russia, England. It was shortwave based, and it was completely illegal against FCC, but we did it. That fell apart due to conflicts within. That led to a short stint with another pirate radio station with a guy that I knew. Again, egos collided, mostly his. And then I went into just before we moved from Illinois, I was involved in community radio. Those are low-powered FM stations, but we were also internet-based. So we had a large variety. I was on one show. I'm not even going to mention her name because she was such a bitch. I went to her because she was a longtime friend of mine. She had these great ideas for this radio show. I went in there and it was a joke. Then I moved from the same station. I went to another show that was helping heroin addicts get help and whatnot. That fell apart because 3 of the other hosts on the show were currently heroin addicts.
Makes sense.
No.
And then my last gig with radio was me and my wife Lisa did 2 shows for a place that was a local radio or a low power FM station by our house, and the woman who ran the station, who nothing about radio, rejected both shows. So that was like that. Because it was a good show. It was a good idea. It was a great show, and for community radio, that's what you got to hit the people. You got to become one of them. You got to do what they're doing. You got to talk on their level. You're not just out there spinning the top 40 hits and making everybody happy.
Did you do stand-up too, Jim?
I'm sorry?
Did you ever do stand-up?
Yes, I'm sorry. I forgot about that. I had a short stint for about maybe 2 years where I did a recurring role as a host and sometimes performer, opener mostly, for a place up in Delavan, Wisconsin. No, not Delavan. Zenda, Wisconsin, out in the middle by Lake Geneva. That again fell into my lap through me heckling a comedian. The owner liked it, and he said, "If you can do that on stage, you got a job." So yeah, I had fun doing that. That was a lot of fun. But since then, I've just been a boring lump of sitting here doing nothing.
Just an old lump of coal.
I'm turning older, and I'm starting to understand. I'm starting to see things from an older person's point of view. Okay, I'm seeing things like some kid walks in my yard, and I want to jump up and yell, "Get off my yard!" You know?
Get off my
And the other day I was in the bathroom, and I don't mean to be too much information, but I was in the bathroom using it in a sit-down position, and I made this noise as I was getting up, and it scared me because I thought my dad was in the room.
Come on, Jim.
Okay, that's weird.
Hey, I'm trying.
Yeah,
okay, we go.
good job, Jim.
I didn't realize it was going to be such a tough room.
Okay, Dangerous Freedom. I know that you you have a unique kind of job. You send explosive igniters around the world.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about what you do.
Okay, so actually, this kind of will go into my other topics later. But so I ship airbag igniters, and they're not the. It's weird how they work. It's like you got the explosive that punches into the propellant, ignites the propellant, and that releases a gas that pops the airbag out, and it happens like that. And Takata and some other places had some cheap igniters. Airbags weren't going off. People were dying. So we ended up getting a bunch of contracts, and we ship out still about $500,000 worth of product every week. Pretty close to that. But anyway, so I ship around the world, and except to the Middle East, we don't ship anywhere. Iraq, Iran, none of them, just nothing. And Russia as well. We don't have any business with Russia. We do still deal with Germany. We deal with Italy. We ship to Poland. We ship to Hawaii. We ship to Japan. We ship to China. But North Korea, no, they're out too. We don't ship there. So, anyways,
that's an interesting sounding job, man.
Well, you got to make sure you cross your T's and dot your I's. And
I would say so.
And the math has to be on par too. And I've always been good with math. So, I mean, I kind of fit into this job because I come from 20 years as a construction worker. And I mean, I worked my way up from the grunt all the way up to lead man. So, yeah, I did that for like 20 years. So I know how to build houses. I did demolition for a few years. I know how to tear shit down real easy. And I also installed fireplaces. Not really big on electric. That's why I got people like Bobby. You know, I got, you know, my son is in HVAC. I got him started when he was a junior in high school. He ended up going half the day to a vocational class for HVAC, because down here in Arizona, if you know HVAC, you have a good career. I mean, when you
same here in Florida.
Yeah, when you see those guys on the road pulling their boats or their, you know, fifth wheels with, you know, 2 maybe 4 quads and motorbikes inside. I mean, all the probably guns up the wazoo. And
down here, that's the way it is down here. I mean, my wife is actually runs a heating and air conditioning factory.
ADM.
She runs it. She's the top dog except for the owners, and so she sees the money this place pulls in, the money that's going out. It's quite phenomenal, and they're just basically by standards of companies right now, they're a smaller company, but they I don't know how many technicians you have. And she has 14 technicians underneath her. So, you know,
That's cool.
It's not a big company by standard, by a lot of standards.
Well, no, but it's that's still a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
But we have DM Demond. I just saw she popped in here. So Dangerous Freedom. I don't know if she heard you or not, but you already owe to her cuss jar. I just want you to know, DM, that he owes you.
I paid it forward. I'm broke this week, anyways, man. Thanksgiving and everything. I'm broke until next month. So
I want to say hey to a few people like Knight's Armory's in here, Big Jim,
Jimbo.
Oh yeah, Jim.
Hey Jim.
You can't see it in this picture, but I got a knife hanging right here. I got from him. We got Liberty Smith in here and DM Demond. Everybody knows who she is. She's absolutely wonderful. We have Luciano. We have Liberty Smith. Benny Mabe is in here as well as Linda Horner. So we've got 20 people in here. That's what I like to start with.
And today, Bobby, you saw my live stream with my daughter.
Yes,
I think I hit 39 people for a high, which is really exciting for me because I have no life.
Oh yeah, that was cool though. But I have a new name for your daughter.
What's that?
Giggle Snort.
Giggle Snort? Like the old Giggle Snort Hotel?
No, she was giggling and she snorted a couple of times and she covered her face. I was just teasing with her. I'm just teasing.
Yeah, I know.
But that was funny. Yeah. I thought she's a chip off the old block.
Hard to believe she's 20, huh?
Wow.
She doesn't look it. She doesn't look at people. Me and her used to do a dumpster diving program every Saturday when we lived in Illinois for a private Facebook page. And we were out there every morning for about an hour. And we used to get, like 1,500 to 2,000 likes on our pages and stuff. And one day we were out and I was goofing around with her. And I said something off color, something that would fill DM's jar up in an instant. And and I got this hateful, just unbelievably nasty, raving lunatic letter or DM from this woman who said, "How could you talk like that in front of a small child? How dare you say stuff like this? You are such an evil, evil father." And I just wrote back to her and I said, "She's 18. Oh, and she's like, "I thought she was like 14. So yeah, I get a lot of weird looks when I'm with her, like especially down here when we're at the beach. I'll get these old guys looking at me like, "What are you doing with that young girl, you freak?"
Oh man, I'm not going to go there. But when I was 27, I married an 18-year-old, and she was 4'10" and weighed about 90 pounds. And oh man, I never got any. I got some weird looks, but the funny thing about it was the teenagers were wanting to beat her up. The girls were wanting to beat her up because they thought that she was a kid, but she wasn't. I mean, she was of age, but yeah, that was a 27-year experience that I wish could have ended 27 years earlier. I have 2 great kids out of that though, and I have grandkids out of those kids. So something came of it, but it was 27 years of misery, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Yeah, I went through about 8 myself. Only been married once, and nasty divorce. Although we got joint custody of the kids, so I had them every weekend and every long vacation. I had them the entire time, so they grew up fairly conservative because their mom. I shouldn't speak ill of the dead. But so even the one woman I married under the eyes of God is gone. So technically, I guess I could get married again, but I'm just not in any hurry.
Well, for somebody who's been married 4 times, I can think that's nothing.
Mistake after mistake, huh?
That's nothing. My sister's been married 4 times, and I think my brother's been married 7 times.
My mom and stepdad are on.
But it was crazy. The first one lasted 3 years, and I never should have married her. She was my best friend. Never should have married her. But
you ruined that friendship right off the bat.
Yeah, eventually it did. And then my second marriage was for 3 weeks. So I didn't really count that one.
I've been married a total of 3 times now, but my story is really simple. I married my first wife when I was 20. I was married to her for 8 years. She divorced me. I went to Nashville. I came back, and 10 years after I got divorced from my first wife, I married my second wife, Linda. We were, I was with her, I should say. I got married 10 years after. She passed away, unfortunately, a year and a half into our marriage. She was 29. She was quite young. She died. So I waited another 10 years and I married my current wife, Lisa. But so I have a marriage mulligan. I have one dead one. So I have that mulligan, like in golf. It's not really, it doesn't count. It's there, but it doesn't count. You kind of did it, but you didn't. So actually, I only consider myself married twice. And if I really think hard and long about my first wife, I only consider myself married once.
Well, if I don't think about it really good and hard, I don't think of myself as ever being married.
My
first
wife is on husband number 4.
Cool.
Can I break the topics here?
I hope you do. Thank you, Dangerous Dream.
I want to get to. Okay,
let's do it.
I don't know if you all heard, but recently Virginia has become Democratic control in the House or in the Senate, and the governor and he put his foot down and said there will be changes coming the new year. So this new Senate bill number 64, okay, it will be enacted by the General Assembly of Virginia. That Article 18.2 of the Code of Virginia is amended to reenact as follows: paramilitary activity prohibited, penalty. A person is guilty of unlawful paramilitary activity punishable as a Class 5 felony if he, 1, teaches or demonstrates to any other person the use, application, or making of any firearm, explosive, or incendiary device or technique capable of causing injury or death to persons, knowing or having reason to know or intending that such training will be employed for use in or in furtherance of a civil disorder. So that, just in that one, they are basically telling you if you try and gather, or first thing that came to my mind was firearms instructors. How does this affect them?
There's no clause to cover them.
Well, they haven't put it in this bill.
Okay.
They'll have to.
Are you going to read the rest of that?
Yes, I'm just paraphrasing.
Okay, yeah.
And so my second thought was, is this going to include the police department? And what about their military bases? No paramilitary activity. Hey, it's a Class 5 felony. So what? Do the Army bases have to shut down? Do the police?
Well, no, but because they're not paramilitary, they're military.
Okay, so the military has it.
Would the police be paramilitary?
What about? Yeah, that's what it said. The paramilitary, and I don't think that includes the police department because they are still civilian.
Exactly.
Although they're trying to change it. And that's why so many people are getting upset with these militarized cops. I mean, they've got heavy armor. They've got armor-proof vehicles now. And I just saw, oh my God, I just saw this earlier. I guess this happened last month or something, but they went to seize guns from somebody down, I don't remember if it was Chicago. Somebody maybe in the chat can correct me, but they brought up this armor. Oh, it was an ICE. No, I take that back. It was an ICE vehicle. Yeah, our immigration control. And they pulled up, but they still seized like 50 guns from this house. But it's crazy because they're stealing the guns from this person, yet they've got a turret on top with a guy with a gun. It's anybody that's going to give up their guns to government, trusting that they're going to save you. You really need to stop and reflect. What has the government done?
Never.
No, not never. No,
I'm saying I will never turn my guns over. That's what I meant. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I will one bullet at a time, as I've said many times.
Okay. So anyway,
but one thing I wanted to get on while you're talking on that, Ron. Well, that would mean that you're breaking the law. If you lived in Virginia, you'd be breaking the law, teaching your sons how to shoot.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah, the militia.
So,
I mean, and you know, the militia is not like it's not like our military where you swear your service to it. I mean, but when my son turned 18, I built him the first rifle, and when I handed it to him, I said, "You're part of the militia now. You need to train." And we do get out and train. And
then that would make you guilty just by teaching your son how to shoot because you have nefarious reasons for civil disorder.
No,
I mean,
I just like to.
But that's how they look at it, Ron. That's how they look at it.
Yeah, I know.
We got to remember we look at it through the eyes of reason sometimes, but they never do. They never look through the eyes of reason.
No.
So continue on with this, Ron, because it gets good down here in number 3.
I'm gonna read out number 2, which is, I'll sum it up. Number 2 is basically the same as the first, except when you assemble in groups with one or more persons for the purpose of training with, practicing with, being instructed in the use of any firearm, explosive, or incendiary device or technique capable of causing injury, death, intending to employ such training for use and of furtherance of a civil disorder. And now on to number 3. Assembles with one or more persons with the intent of intimidating any person or group or of persons by drilling, parading, or marching with any firearm, any explosive or incendiary device, or any components or combination thereof. Which means Antifa might have to really watch their tactics. I don't know. Probably not, because they're
not going to watch them. They don't care. The Antifa is a joke. It is such a joke.
We don't have them here. I'll be honest with you. Down here, if because our cops know if they don't deal with the issue right away, then the people will, because we don't tolerate that crap here. We just don't.
Well, from everything you've just read, it says gathering of persons of one
or more.
Well, since when did one person become persons? It said gathering of persons of one or more. I mean, that's idiocy. So they're saying if I go out to the range, say I live in Arizona like you do, and I can go out to the range in the desert, and I happen to be out there with my assault weapon and my...
You just call it a rifle.
Well, yeah, but they're going to call it an assault weapon because it looks like one.
I've been trying to teach it for years how to assault, and it still won't.
I know mine won't either. I can send it down the street and it comes back empty-handed every time. But seriously, if I'm out there with my AR or with any type of what they term an assault weapon, well, they can automatically arrest me just right then because I'm furthering myself in my art of shooting what I aim at.
Well, I'm sure you both are smart enough to understand that this is just a preamble for coming to get your guns.
There you go.
This is a paving of the way. That's all this is. This is the headstone. This is the journey forward to see how far these idiot people in America who aren't waking up will let us go.
Well, you come from a place around Chicago who has some of the strictest gun laws in America. Mm-hmm. But Virginia has always had very strict gun laws. I drove an 18-wheeler to New York City every week for 4 years and went through Virginia every week. And I'm going to tell you, every time I drove through Virginia, I was scared to death to get pulled over at the scale house or somewhere and they find my handgun. Because you go to jail, mm-hmm. Don't even pass go. They have a year to bring you to trial. You can sit in county jail for a year before they even try you.
I just
Same thing in New York City. Same thing in New York City.
I just caught on the news tonight about England. What just happened in England today? The guy stabbing somebody.
Oh yeah.
Right.
There
now
you go.
look at it this way. England, like Australia, has taken its guns away from its citizens.
Yep.
So You have no guns, so there's supposed to be no violence.
That's right. Yeah, well, yeah, no violence.
And then here comes some wacko with one of these. Yeah, well, I don't have a big cool knife handy right now, so I had to grab something out of the kitchen block. Okay, great. Okay, you guys is bigger than mine.
We're ready. We're ready.
I wasn't ready. If you really want to get into a test of manliness, never mind.
No, we're not going to do that.
Oh, wait a minute.
No. Let me go on to my next topic.
Let him finish there, Jim.
All
right, I can show you.
All right, let's see. Nice. It looks like I love this one, man. It's so light in my pocket. It's like
well, this is a survival knife. So you.
Yep, I got the ferro rod too.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ron.
Okay. So my next point to the whole Virginia bill is something that I've heard in a few streams lately, and this is about the balkanization of America. Now, I'm going to read the definition of balkanization, so in case anybody doesn't know, this will give them a general basis. Balkanization, a term for the process of fragmentation or division of a region or state into smaller regions or states that are often hostile or uncooperative with one another. So basically, this is a European term. This comes actually from a region that is still going through balkanization. I know because I ship to this area, and I used to ship to Yugoslavia. Well, about a year ago, they changed their name to the Republic of North Macedonia. And then below it says formerly known as Yugoslavia. But they're still going through it today.
And they broke into 5 states, I believe.
Now, I can see something like this happening to America because there are regions like the cities. You know, they would probably balkanize and they would become blue. And then everybody that was a conservative or sane would move into a different city where, you know, and even in Virginia, scuttlebutt is that there's at least 15 cities and counties where the sheriffs have come out and said, no, we won't enforce these laws. These go against our Constitution and our beliefs. So screw them. Now, I don't know how that's going to play out because, you know, a lot of cops, they just want to get paid. And if they're looking at getting fired,
yeah,
you know, it's not like we haven't seen the police get militarized, which is part of my point. You know, if their police is militarized, the people need at least the same response power as the police.
Well, yes. I have a remedy, and we can take it from Kurt Russell. Escape from New York.
Oh yeah.
Or Escape from LA. That's what we can take all of these demon rats and we can stick them in New York City and in LA and San Francisco and Houston or wherever it is in the South they want to be. And we'll just wall them off and
we'll give them Hawaii. That way they will be stuck on it and we will end planes going in or out.
You got a free trip to Hawaii.
And you know what? That was something that somebody else just brought up the other day too. I saw a video where he's like, you know what? If we offer all these homeless people $1,000 in a one-way trip to Hawaii, how many would take it?
I would.
I would venture to say that not a large sum would accept that. They'd like the $1,000 idea, but I don't think they'd like the flying away idea. And the only reason I say this is because when I was running laundry in Chicago, I dealt almost every day with homeless people and bums who I would pay a couple bucks to unload my truck for me at my stops.
Lumpers.
And through my years of talking to them, they weren't, there was no ever any evidence that they wanted to move anywhere. They liked where they were at because they had a set schedule. They knew where they could go get this, they could go get that, where they could get clean water, where they could take a shower. They knew all that. Going to a new place, you have to learn it all over. That's not worth it to them.
Well, Fred Knott says we need just to put all the demon rats in a volcano.
Well, and the reason I said Hawaii is because, like, you know, right now, Bobby and I have discussed this in the past. When they're building that border wall, they need to just when it gets to California, just shoot straight up and all the way to Canada.
Yeah, get rid of Washington, get rid of
Washington,
Portland.
Oregon, California, they can all just go.
We'll let them balkanize themselves. Although there are a lot of patriots in all those states, and what do? Tell them to get the fuck out?
No, we offer them $1,000 in a place to move into the normal areas.
There you go.
Well, like we can change their minds, or something?
Better yet, we'll give them full market value for everything that they own and that they're leaving behind. And we'll give them each an acre of land somewhere in South Dakota.
An acre of land and a mule, right?
There you go, man. Just like they did in the old South.
Yeah.
Yeah. Many received that acre and that mule. That was a big incentive.
Yeah. There's an old song that I do called Annabelle. It was done by Julian Krause. And she, it tells about sharecroppers, getting 20 acres and one Jenny mule. And they farm that land, and that they got 20% of what they yielded, so they got 20% of a lot of dust. A lot of times, the Dust Bowl came through and ran all kinds of people off the land, and we're blessed today, Dangerous Freedom, that we can sit here and we can talk about these gun laws. And let that be, and let the Democrats and the gun laws and all this kind of stuff occupy our minds, rather than having to actually survive on a daily basis. And everything that you do during your day is for survival, like these people before us did. So, we're really little panty waist people compared to what they were. I mean, those were real people.
The stories my grandfather used to tell me when I was growing up, my grandfather obviously went through the Great Depression down south, and he was already a dirt poor farmer before the Depression.
Right.
So, but he would tell me stories. Like one story that sticks out in my mind all the time was how him and his brother Hubert drove around to the neighboring farms and stole vegetables to feed the family, but left a note on every single vegetable plot that they stole from, apologizing for their actions and asking for them to forgive them.
That's understandable. Yeah.
And my grandfather, to his dying day, claimed to his dying day that he repaid everybody that he wronged during those years.
Well, my dad grew up poor, and I always wondered why he ate his meat rare. I mean, rare.
Like biting right into a cow?
I'm talking 10 seconds on each side.
Horns off and
cut his horns off, wipe its butt, run it in here. But but it was because when he got meat, it was because it was meat that he stole, and he had to eat it while he was running.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense.
So he grew up eating pretty much raw meat.
My wife's grandparents were immigrants from where from again? Latvia. Okay. And I never got the pleasure to meet her grandmother, but I did meet her grandfather, and the stories that man would tell me were just so fascinating to me. I mean, there's a great story about him and my wife's grandfather and her grandmother stealing a barrel to make potato vodka and then being forced. Now they're on their way to America, but he was forced to join up with the Nazis and shoot at American planes, which he wanted to be in the American plane and shooting the Nazis, but he couldn't, so he had to do that. And the struggles that they had, they came here through immigration legally through Ellis Island. They were sponsored by a church in Ohio or Iowa or somewhere, and they did everything like they were supposed to, and they had a great freaking life. They had a wonderful life in America. They lived the American dream out. And now there's people trying to come across our borders who don't understand that. They think just because I come up here and go, hey, political asylum, okay, come on in, we'll give you everything you need. That's not finding the American dream. That's the great American handout.
And, amen. And we can really think. I got to say the right word. We can really think. I had that wrote down here in my little deal. I never got to. But we had LBJ in the 60s. Mm-hmm. And when he signed the Welfare Act, and
in 64, right?
Yes. What he did was he destroyed the black family because he gave incentive for there not to be a man in the house, because if you're just a woman with kids, you get more money. So get rid of the man.
And LBJ was a Democrat.
Yes, he was. Who I believe was knee deep in the assassination of John Kennedy, but that's just my opinion. But also, not only was he that, before he was asked to be vice president by Kennedy, the only reason he did it was because he was his worst rival. I mean, this man was ready to be censured out of the Senate. And yet there he comes as vice president because he was John Kennedy's biggest nemesis. So he wanted to keep him close, but I guess he kept him a little too close. LBJ is the one that did this. He's the one that started the welfare system. And, I have no problem with helping the needy.
No.
I've never been in a situation to where I had to have food stamps or anything like that. But
it's gotten too far.
It's gone. That's what I was getting at. It's gone too far. The abuse is so bad. I mean,
I live on the streets now.
Look, I mean, I've never lived on the streets in my life. Never have. Never even crossed my mind. But I've been, in situations where I thought maybe I might have to, but I never have, by the grace of God. And I know people who work and live in their cars.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
Because they'd rather do drugs than pay rent.
Yeah. And still keep a job. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I got two brothers who are both welfare kings. They love welfare. My one brother, back when Clinton was president, remember when he signed the Reform Welfare to Work bill?
Oh, yeah.
Well, my one brother had a job he didn't have a job. I'll take that back. And, he always claimed that he had this mysterious stomach ailment that nobody could diagnose, just bullshit. And after Clinton signed that bill, he pops over at my dad's house one day announcing that him and his wife both got jobs and yay, great for us. And I'm thinking, wow, what a coincidence. The bill's signed. It's in effect. Your welfare is cutting off. Now you find a job. It's amazing, isn't it?
Is it?
but now here's the bad part about it. Him and his wife both work at a local hospital. Okay. He gets fired 8 months later for stealing from patients. One of them was my late wife, Linda.
Wow.
Yeah.
But see, that's the way it works. But before we get too far off topic, Ron, I want to get back with you on this balkanization because we didn't really cover that like I think you wanted to.
I'm sorry, Ron. I forgot.
No. It's fine. We're all sharing the screen. We're having a good time.
So anyway, the reason I can see that happening here in the United States is because you got these cities. And if you ever look at like the political map, it's like the majority of our country is red. We're conservative. We believe in, American values and God and guns and you name it. And there's a huge part of us. We're just sparsely spread out, but we are still the majority. And then you get these little blue spots and they grow slowly. They're like a infectation, like
mold.
And and like a lot of people say that these liberals that just can't afford to live in LA or anything anymore, they're moving to states like Texas. I know I told you guys, but I just heard recently that they're passing a new bill where they're going to tax corporations 1.6% more tax, which, in their case is millions of dollars. And so they're just like, okay, well, we're leaving. They gave them a year. They're moving their headquarters to Texas, and 14,000 employees from the LA County are getting $50,000 job offers to move to Texas right now from this company.
That's fantastic.
14,000 are moving out, but are they taking their liberal agenda with them? That is the problem, because Texas is not a liberal.
Yes.
It's not.
But this Beto O'Rourke came in close on the last Senate race. I mean, Ted Cruz barely beat him out. not to say that I totally trust Ted Cruz, although yeah, I kind of like him, but I don't know. I trust him about as far as I could throw him, which is not very far.
Well, I'll tell you somebody I do trust, and that's DM DeMod.
Oh,
And she said, she was talking to Sandra Ann McGibbon, and she says, just saying, they are evil and they need our prayers. But I would be happy to get them out of our country, or Gitmo would even be better.
Yes.
So you see, we have to agree with DM, and every now and then I like to look in the chat and see what people are talking about. Because
we got that island for a reason, and actually that make I was going to say Hawaii. We'll just give him Hawaii, but then maybe we could just give him Gitmo. I don't know how many rooms they got there though.
As long as there's room for Hillary and Obama.
That's and I don't really mean to go there, but since we're just talking and we only got 19 minutes left, I'm going to go there. It's crazy, that Trump went into office, and I think it was in February after he went in January that he signed that order making it the death penalty for human trafficking of any kind or corruption. Okay. Everybody knows what we've got on these people. I'm talking Hillary, the Obamas, the Podestas, the Smithfields, Rothschilds, Windsors, Morgans, all of them. We've got enough to put them all in Gitmo. Liberty Smith and I have the question. When are we going to see the perp walks? When?
I don't know. Q was saying soon. Oh, you're going to see it soon. And I hear some people are saying, oh, this IG report is going to be damning. And it's like, well, they're already damned. All this is going to do have more proof of their corruption. But like you said, when are we going to see this perp walk? We're all waiting for it.
They did a multi-million-dollar upgrade in Gitmo right after he became president. For VIP prisoners. There's no VIP prisoners there that we know of. I still wonder where Tony Podesta is. He sort of disappeared.
Yeah, he's gone off the radar.
No, Trump did this. He upgraded Gitmo to receive VIP prisoners. But
I did not know that.
As of right now, I think he spent $5 million on an 18-bed facility.
18? That's an odd specific number.
Yeah, you would think. But anyway, it might have been 20, but I think it was 18.
I think Podesta was kind of smart. He knew that if he didn't get out, if he didn't like go into hiding, then he would get Epstein. So
Tony Podesta disappeared. Overnight. He had a multi-million-dollar company, and he liquidated the company, and he disappeared in 24 hours.
Maybe he's
you haven't seen him since Trump took office.
Probably hiding out on an island somewhere.
Yeah,
but probably hiding out on Epstein's old island.
Maybe he's down inside one of those.
I don't believe for a minute that Epstein is dead. I don't believe he's dead. He was hauled out of there. He was given so much money to live on. They put him on another island. They told him, you never come off this island. Anything you want, you need, you have to have. You call this number, it's delivered to you. You never talk to anybody the rest of your life. Forget your family, and you'll live comfortably.
Well, if you looked at the autopsy photos and you look at Jeffrey Epstein, he looks like Jeffrey Epstein, but his nose is wrong.
It's Anthony Bourdain's photos. That's why.
Anthony Bourdain, remember, hung himself with a red scarf. And his girlfriend did the same thing. In another country, she hung herself with a red scarf. Come on. I don't believe it for a minute.
I think Ron's laughing at me.
But no, we could talk about the
sorry, when you get into conspiracies like that,
that's not a conspiracy.
Well, I know a lot of times these conspiracies turn out to be fact. We've seen this all the way back to the 60s where they were sinking ships to get us involved in the wars. So I get all that, but I don't know. The Epstein thing, he might be alive. He might be in Gitmo.
Well,
you don't know. He might be in protective custody, as we know, because he's got so much dirt on, everybody. But honestly, I don't think so. I don't know. You know what? Maybe I'll be wrong.
Let's think of it like this. It doesn't matter if he's dead or alive. Prince Andrew's been kicked out of Buckingham Palace.
I heard that. When I heard that,
Yeah.
That's right
He's also lost his salary.
Yes, yes, exactly.
He should lose his royalty over there.
Right. Well, what does that tell you? What does that tell you about the leaks that came out of the Epstein Island stuff? He was involved in that. If he wasn't involved, do you think that his mother, the Queen, would sit back and do all this to him if he did not deserve it and have it coming to him?
No, she wouldn't. She wouldn't. He's guilty in the eyes of his own mother.
Right. Exactly my point.
She knows him probably better than any of us do.
He's probably done this in the past.
Maybe that's why Fergie left him.
Maybe he's a pervert.
And maybe
usually you don't become a pervert overnight. And you start off at a young age and you just get worse.
Because he was implicated by was it Epstein in his logs that he had been on.
Oh yeah, I mean well, it's like Bill Clinton flew to Epstein Islands.
The royals over there knew they couldn't hide it then. It's like, holy crap, it's like what's his name? Julian Assange and his InfoLeaks or WikiLeaks. Once it gets there, it's like, oh, the truth is out. What do we do now? We cover our ass.
Here's the truth. This is what hung. Can y'all see that?
It's out of focus a little bit. It looks like Bill Clinton is a woman.
Grandma.
That is a 50-inch painting that hung in the foyer of Epstein's house, and it is Bill Clinton in a blue dress.
Why?
You tell me, brother. I don't know.
Right, this is the same guy that banned rifles, a certain kind of rifles, for like 10 years. Thank God that thing sunsetted.
Well, and that's something we're going to have to do now.
Dude, this stuff in Virginia has me really hot under the collar. And I hope to God when it gets to their Senate, although their Senate is Democrat biased now.
The thing to do, Ron, is don't go to Virginia.
Well, I don't plan on leaving Arizona. I can't go to California.
Maybe Virginia is going to use that balkanization you're talking about, and they're going to succeed from the whole country, and they're going to make Virginia and New York and Vermont and Connecticut all their own.
They're going to go back to the original 13 colonies.
That's fine with me. That's fine with me.
The only problem is, the saddest part is, those first 13 colonies were the ones that fought off the tyranny in the first place. And now they are all Democrat, and oh no, you can't have your guns. You don't need your guns. It's almost like they're under British law again, and I'm waiting for the next Lexington and Concord to happen. Dude, and they're doing it slowly, though. That's the police. They won't go just take, do a street sweep and just go door to door. Do you have any firearms? They're not going to do that because they know they're going to get shot. They do it individually. We know this guy's got guns, so let's go get them from him. And they'll do it case by case, individual by individual basis, and they'll do it slowly. But if you look in Florida and all these other states, they are doing it slowly. But they're up to 2,000, 2,500, 3,000 in some places. They are taking guns away from law-abiding citizens.
Bobby, one of our friends, Jeff Brodell?
Yes.
Yes.
He had his guns taken away by the Florida red flag laws. Totally unnecessary. Yeah, he told me about it. Yeah, yep. He told me about it, and I don't want to paraphrase his story. If he's out in the chat, maybe he might give you a preview of what a.
Well, Jeff Randall, you need to call me, brother.
Yeah,
I'd like to talk to you, Jeff.
That's what he told me one time about he had his guns taken away from him.
Let me put my phone number up here. If you don't have it, call this number. Jeff, I'd like to talk to you, maybe bring you on and get your story.
Is he in the chat?
Yes,
I just saw him, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Jeff, I hope you don't mind me mentioning that. I really do. I should have checked with you first. I apologize if it's offensive to you.
Well, he's mentioned it. He's mentioned it in the chat before. I've seen it.
Well, still, that's his personal story. There's more to it that I know, but I don't want to say anything. You know what I mean?
Saying it.
I'm just trying to be very nice to the man because he's a nice guy. He lives in Florida. He could drive up here and kick my ass. So. And I don't want nobody kicking my ass right now.
Anybody in this chat is planning on driving anywhere to kick anybody's butt. But
I know, I'm just joking. That's what I do.
I'm going to make a trip to Arizona one of these days, and I want to go to the Superstition Mountains.
Hey, Ron.
Mm-hmm.
Are you close to Laura from Atomic News?
I'm not even familiar with her.
Okay, she's another YouTuber who was in Rockford, Illinois. Now she lives in Arizona. I didn't know if you might know her or not.
No.
Do you know a guy by the name of Rob Ulog? Uvlog?
No,
I don't know what town she is, but she's a heavy conservative channel.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah, it's Atomic News.
Is she like an AM channel, or does she have an FM channel? I don't listen.
No, YouTube.
Okay, I do watch
YouTube,
but you know.
But I just didn't know if you maybe knew her because you were in Arizona.
Never heard of her.
I want to break in on you guys for just a minute. I got to hit up a couple of people right quick before we run out of time. Tony Patriot, my dear friend from Florida Jim, and Benny Mabe, Alfred Phillips, Squad Chick, Darla Tidwell, Rooster Cogburn, Jeff Brandow, Luciano, Alfred Phillips, Fred Knott, my dear brother in arms. Keep your powder dry, my friend. 12B Georgia, Linda Horner, DM Ahmad, Sandra Ann McGibbon. Of course, we got Dangerous Freedom, stuck his name in there a minute ago. And Darla Tidwell, Liberty Smith, Gary Holland. We've got James Wells, Darlene. She always comes in under his name.
Hi, Darlene.
Kevin Moore and Jerry Coate. Yeah, we got some people in here. So I just wanted to give some shout outs right quick.
Is Margot out here?
Yes, yeah, Margot's here. Margot's here.
Hi, Margot. Thank you so much.
And actually, Rooster Cogburn, I've actually I've known him for years, even before I really started my channel. I ran into him in some of my gun chats and stuff. I like that.
Okay, guys, we got 8 minutes left. You guys can have 4 minutes to give your closing arguments.
Oh, go ahead, Ron. Knock your socks off.
Wow, geez. Okay.
Because there ain't no way I can follow you. So
that's why I have you guys on, so y'all can fill the void.
Yeah, I'm going to try not to rant, but I'm not going to promise anything here.
Take off, brother.
Go for it.
Our liberty is in serious jeopardy. They have been stripping our rights, our Constitution. They have been chipping at it for a long time. Imagine a huge stone wall. Imagine the wall of China, except solid. They've been chipping at it so long that it's about to break, and they're about to get through. And if they do, they're going to destroy our Constitution and our way of life. And they're already trying to destroy morals in most people. How long are we going to allow this? I mean, are we going to balkanize, or are we going to? I mean, honestly, if I just don't see this outcome without getting bloody.
I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. I think that we are allowing our freedoms every day to be taken away a little bit. It started with the Patriot Act. You know, I mean, I'm sure it started before that.
It started long before. The Patriot Act was a piece of crap.
Yeah.
They just passed it to renew and refund that Patriot Act, and they added more crap to it.
I was going to say, I'm sure it went further back than the Patriot Act, but the Patriot Act is what kind of brought all this to the forefront for people who didn't really pay attention to politics. Okay, a lot of people just live their life. They get their little rewards every day, like a hamster on a wheel, and they come home, they're happy. There's some people like you, Ron, and others that understand what's going on out there, and they want to stop what's going on, and they have that drive, and they understand it. But there's a lot of people, unfortunately, in this country that do not have their eyes open, cannot see the future in front of them. They see, and what they hear, especially these college students who are as stupid as the fucking day is long.
Cuss jar.
Damn it. Fuck. Anyway. Oh shit, I did it again.
Oh man. All right, just shut it up. Go back to my rant.
That was on such a good soliloquy too, man. I sounded like I knew something.
You sound Taylor.
But college students, for example, my daughter goes to a college here in Florida. It's a very democratic school, extremely democratic. She is part of the Young Republicans Club out there. She's running for an executive office in it. And here's an example.
Thank you, DM.
Their school, their club came up with T-shirt designs. Okay, I wish Sam Tampa was out here. He'd back me up because he's in the same club. Their T-shirt, they were so afraid to put the word Republican on there. Come here, let me show them your shirt. You don't need to have pants on.
No,
they won't see it. Come around this way. Look at this shirt, guys. This is a Young Republican shirt. No, come over this. Nope, this way.
Yeah, to the other way. There you go.
There.
What the hell? It's a Rottweiler.
No, that's just a Labrador.
Oh, is that a lab? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Now this is a Labrador. It's got a duck or something in its mouth here. A pheasant.
Good.
It says University of Tampa College Republicans. Okay. Now here's the fun part. Look at the pocket. Look what's on the goddamn pocket. Oops, sorry. Come in a little bit closer. You see that? Shotgun shells.
Nice.
Shotgun shells.
Hey, look at that! Right behind Bobby. He's got one. No, I've got some too, actually.
But yet they're so afraid. They're so afraid to have these T-shirts out or talk openly about their club because they're so afraid of the Democrats out there yelling and screaming, including the professors. The professors are Democrats.
Yep.
They are pushing this new world agenda of dumbifying America, telling these kids, listen to Bernie Sanders, listen to Hillary Clinton, because you know what? Everything's going to be free. You can go to college for free. So if you want to be a full-time student, you want to stay here until you're 45, it'll be free. Don't worry about it. And that's not the reality of life. Life is not free, for God's sake.
Dude, they're taking these stupid studies that are, first of all, they're never going to be able to find a real job. They're going to,
who needs a degree in dead languages?
Liberal arts. Are you?
Yeah, liberal arts.
That's not a degree.
You know what? No,
kids go to vocational school. My kids
don't talk over each other, guys.
Before they get out of high school.
Okay,
I'm not sending them to college. I'm not saying they can't go to college, but even here in Arizona, I know we've got Christian ones up north that are probably NAU, I think, and then we've got another one in Tucson, which hell no, that's a liberal. That would be if we balkanized. I would be in this big red bubble and they would be in this big blue bubble, but they're like 200 miles away, 150 miles, 200 miles away. Tucson is a long ways from me and they are a blue place. They were just talking about voting on being a sanctuary city about a month and a half ago. And I don't think it went through, but they were still voting on it.
Well, we need more sanctuary cities in America. That's a fact.
Second Amendment ones, yes.
For Second Amendment, I mean.
Yeah.
We need a Second Amendment sanctuary cities, just like the little town in Arkansas, the county there, Pulaski County, Arkansas. They are a sanctuary county. I mean, they've passed that law, and that's what they are.
Well, then you got Kennesaw, Georgia, too, where you have to have
I just live, right up the street, Kennesaw, Georgia. I went to high school in Kennesaw.
I mean, they don't force you to have a gun, but they would prefer you had one.
Yeah,
the law is that you should have a gun in your house.
We are the militia, and you have to protect yourself.
And it's been that way since I was a kid. But I have to thank Lisa Leto right quick. I just saw her in here for her kind PayPal donation last week.
Oh, we got Melody in here. Hi, Melody.
Yeah, we got a lot of people in here. So we got 1 minute left. Miss Mary's in here, Fred Knott, Rooster Cogburn, CLC in Florida. She was in here early. We got Kevin Moore, Fan 33, James Wells, who we all know is Darlene, DM the mod, the best mod going, and she's had to work tonight.
I see my brother Fred out there. I still haven't seen him.
Fred Knott, he's out there.
I haven't seen his Beowulf.
No, I haven't seen that Beowulf either. I sent him a text the other day. I wanted to see his Beowulf, and I think he laughed at me. I told him keep his powder dry, and he said he always kept it warm.
I stacked my ammo.
So we got Krabby Crab Face, Benny Maybe, Kevin Moore, Liberty Smith, Timber Lab, God is great. Lisa Leto, thank you again, Lisa. Jeff Brandow, our friend. Kevin Moore. Low B, Georgia, one of my good guys around here. But we've got Willman 757 and State 59 and many others. So we're going to get out of here. It's 9 o'clock. Y'all have any final words you want to say before we close?
Not really. I mean, I think Ron pretty much said it all. I think we all know that's the truth, and there's no way of getting around it. It's it's the 100-pound elephant in the room. It's there. I mean, the 800-pound elephant.
Yeah.
It's there, and if you choose to ignore it, well, then you're going to unfortunately be a victim to it.
Yeah, if you don't prepare for it.
And I think that you should have a gun. I think everybody should have a gun in their house or two. I mean, me and my wife, we're going to be picking up ours pretty soon. You don't have to have the best gun in the world. You don't have to have a lot of them because it only takes one bullet to put somebody down. You just got to train and be right with the gun.
Exactly. Training, practice. I mean, I drive by the train on a daily basis.
And never pull your weapon unless you intend to pull the trigger.
Well, now see, down here in Florida, they have a little bit different of a law. If you are in a confrontation where you're fearing your life, you can retrieve your weapon as long as you don't hold it up and point it. You can hold it out and display it as long as it's pointed down and your finger is off the trigger as a warning.
Okay.
This has happened in Florida. There was a guy who was just arrested for, guy lied, said he pulled his gun. He said, yes, I pulled my gun, but I had it down. He had a camera in his car, caught everything on tape, and he was exonerated.
Cool. All right, guys, it's after 9 o'clock. I'm going to get out of here. I want to thank both of you for coming in. It's been an experience. It always is when I'm with you, Florida Jim, and
hello,
and my dear buddy Ron from Arizona. I'll be talking to you over the weekend. And man, thank y'all for coming, giving me your time. We had 30 people in here at one point, so we did pretty good. So for a Friday night, especially after Thanksgiving. Thank all of you people for your kind Thanksgiving wishes. And I hope all of you are feeling fat from a lot of turkey. So I'm going to get out of here. We're going to say good night. And I want to thank Florida Jim
You're welcome,
and Dangerous Freedom for giving us their time tonight. History B, so good to see you. Glad you made it, sweetheart.
History B, I had to subscribe to you once more again, like the 4th time in 2 weeks now.
Oh, well, that's something funny, too. I've lost 23 subscribers this month. And I keep getting emails that so-and-so subscribed, but my numbers keep going down.
Yeah.
So I've been on the same numbers for a month now.
Also, real quick, Knight's Armory, if you're still out here, the same thing with you. I've had to resubscribe to you at least twice now.
Yep. And American Joe.
And Tony Patriot. And you, Bobby.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I love y'all. Thanks for being here. We're going to get out of here and let somebody else go live, and we're going to let these people go visit them. Thank you all for being here. And we'll see y'all Sunday morning for Sunday morning Bible study at 11 a.m. Be here. I promise you, if we get into chapter 9, it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, so it'll be good, Ron. So we'll see y'all here Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Check out Disabled Vest Perspective at 7 p.m. I'll be back at 8 p.m. With some kind of news. But I'll see y'all at 11 a.m. Sunday morning. Thank you guys for being here. Thank all of y'all for joining in. We'll see y'all at 11 a.m. on Sunday morning. I'm going to back out.
See you later, Ron.
All right.
God bless y'all, guys. Thanks.
See you, chat.
Bye.